Hey team, how you doing? Dave Glaser from Fit Life Champions wanting to check in with you on this current module. One of my favorite topics to talk about is how I initially built a clientele. And when I began building my business, I was working two jobs, bartending at night and personal training in the morning just to make ends meet. Because I knew that my business wouldn't be able to support me, myself, and my daughter and my business on just one client a month. I knew that. I had invested in myself by buying or signing up as an independent contractor at a private training studio. So I knew that the possibility was there, and I knew that my initial overhead was very affordable, and it was going to stay level for a long period of time until I built up that clientele. So I used every opportunity I possibly could, and initially I used that second job bartending as my word of mouth marketing campaign basically. I saw new people all the time. Every single day I was being introduced to new people. So I took it to a new level. Each and every day that a new client came in and sat at one of the cocktail tables or one of the bar seats and I was working, part of my job was to ask for their ID. So I'd check their ID, serve them a beer, and introduce myself by name. You know, reach out, shake their hand and say, Sam, it's nice to meet you. And I would hand back the ID and shake their hand. That was an initial way to get a conversation started. Oh, well, they know my name. Dave knows my name already. I know Dave's name as a secondary. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Dave. Like the basics of beginning a conversation with a stranger. And this was in a customer service role. So when I'm coaching you to initiate conversations in a new place, like a new gym that you're at, or maybe a gym that you're a member at. You know, I was also a member at Lifetime Fitness and 24 Hour Fitness in the beginning stages of my career, and I was able to meet people there who are like-minded, who are interested in fitness. And as long as I introduce myself, hey, I'm Dave, how you doing? Get their name, and then you go at the same time almost every day, and you just become the expert in their eyes, and then they end up asking you questions. But that's a little bit easier than, say, like approaching somebody or just bumping into somebody at the grocery store, like, oops, my cart accidentally bumped into yours while I'm searching for my chicken. Well, that's a conversation starter, and you say, hey, how you doing today? I see you. I mean, you don't even have to say, like, I'm peering into your grocery cart, but you do notice things about people when they're shopping. Hey, how you doing? Are you reaching for the same type of chicken? You know, blah, blah, blah. I'm Dave. Nice to meet you. I know that's a stretch in like concept or an application of what we're talking about, but it could happen, right? It could happen that you literally bump into somebody at the grocery store and initiate a conversation. Maybe I'm wearing my Fit Life Champions t-shirt. Maybe I'm wearing this Advocare t-shirt, and they simply just ask. Like, that's one of the first things that people see is what clothes you're wearing, or if you're smiling, or if you're making eye contact. Those are the first few things that people see that don't necessarily have anything to do with the conversation that you're about to start. So they ask, hey, what's Fit Life Champions? Or what's Advocare? I've heard of that. Don't they sponsor Major League Soccer? And then it starts a conversation. This is word of mouth, face-to-face marketing at its purest form. Where am I on a frequent enough basis where I can become noticed in the community as an expert? That's how we build our business. So back to my second job. Yes, I put in more hours at my bartending job than I did at my personal training job initially. But then I realized that I really started to need to hustle a little bit more in order to make my flat rate overhead actually become less of a percentage of my overall revenue. And this is business by the numbers, and we can talk about this on our weekly call. We can talk about this via your weekly email too. So if you have questions on how to set a budget for your personal training business, email me that question in your once a week email with the 3 top questions that are burning on your mind right now. That's your opportunity to extend this relationship further. Please take advantage of that. So each and every time that a new guest came in, I became the epitome of customer service. I was at my best. If I could produce amazing customer service 95% of the time that I was at that second job, I was eventually going to be able to build relationships with new people. And I haven't worked at this restaurant for 3 years, but I can go back in there and bar guest after bar guest after bar guest after bar guest of the regular clientele there know my name. They say, hey Dave, how's the training business going? I follow you on social media. 4 years later, it just appears that you're exploding all over the place. And that's the end result of becoming the expert in their eyes based on your face-to-face marketing, word-of-mouth marketing initially, in order to build up a regular clientele in your personal training studio or here at Fit Life Champions. And the last time that I went in there in October of 2016, I met a regular that I used to serve with as much as I possibly could, the best customer service I possibly could. I bumped into a regular there, and he's been a client of ours now for about 9 months. Well, I never would have expected walking in there, having a conversation with Bill, who had just recovered from a few surgeries, shoulder and knee, and saying, hey Bill, why don't you just come in and have a conversation with me and we can talk about your goals. How's that sound? He's like, yeah man, I'm retired now, looking to get back into shape and lose some weight. He's down 20 plus pounds, 13 inches in the first 6 months of his training with us. And without that initial face-to-face marketing, planting the seeds years ago of, hey Bill, I'm working on my personal training career as I served him in another situation. You know, that was my advantage. That was my opportunity to become the expert in their eyes, and still harvesting the seeds that I planted 3 or 4 years ago. So moving forward in our business, how do we make that a regular thing? Well, we take each and every opportunity to do that in every situation that we're in. That includes a family gathering. My birthday, let's see, not my birthday, but my daughter's birthday is coming up on Sunday. We're hosting a family gathering at my parents' house, and my sisters are going to be there. I don't see my sisters very often. I don't connect with them on the phone. They're busy adults, they're busy parents. But when we get together at these family gatherings, guess what? The conversation of their jobs come up. You know, they're both professionals. One of them is an entrepreneur, the other one is a state employee. So the conversation of their careers comes up because we care about each other. And then eventually the conversation turns to, hey Dave, we're following you on social media. What's going on new in your business? We see you move locations. That's so cool. Tell us about it. And then that conversation just gets started. But after years of planting the seeds with my family, they may never become a client of mine. Like my middle sister, probably never going to become a client of mine, but she's asked me about online training before, and she says, Dave, can you give me an example of what online training looks like for you? And I said, yeah, here's your free week. I'm happy to do that for you. She tried it out, and it wasn't the right fit for her, and that's okay. But it took her 3 years before she even asked for my help. So that's planting of the seeds over time. From that family gathering, you can then continue a conversation in another group. I play adult co-ed softball. This is a great way to connect with new people each and every season that I don't already know, and just simply by having a fun evening out 1 hour at a time, and then we go to a local taco place for tacos afterwards. We get to know each other, the business of, hey, you're a lawyer, that's cool. You're in social media, that's really cool. I always allow their businesses to come up first, and then I talk about mine. That's allowing them the opportunity to be heard, to be understood, and to begin to know, like, and trust me as their teammate on a softball team. And I was only on a certain team that I knew nobody the very first season we played. Second season that we played, 2 clients came to me from that league. One was 100% online, One was a hybrid client online. She came to see me once a week in person, and she did the rest of the workouts on her own. Now, our third season coming up, there's other people on the team that are saying, hey, here, it's time to register. Dave, are you in? Never once did I say, hey, come on in. I'm giving away a free consultation this week, guys. No, that wasn't the point. The point was to develop relationships over a short period of time or a long period of time, plant the seed about what I do for a living and why I'm so passionate about being a personal trainer, and eventually they begin to ask because of frequency and recency. It would have done me no good to participate in both of these softball leagues had I not connected with our teammates on Facebook or on social media or on Instagram. I was able to stay fresh and relevant in their minds, meeting them on a softball team and then becoming friends with them in the off season on Facebook. Now Maria, she's doing the Spartan with us at the end of this month. And that was all because I met her on a softball team and she asked for my help to get her to her weight loss and her strength goals. Now she's doing a Spartan with us as a team. That's pretty cool. And over time we get to see the results come from how often we plant seeds and then how frequently we follow up in order to harvest those seeds. I really do appreciate your time today, guys. I wanted to expand a little bit more on this most recent module that you've finished. So please continue to read what we've got going on here and take that quote from David Bly to heart. Striving for success without hard work is like trying to harvest where you haven't planted. Thanks again, Dave Glaser from Fit Life Champions. I want to appreciate your time.